thank you for joining us. I'm Robert Carpenter with the Pines Cup News. Recently, we sat down with the President, Donald Trump, for an exclusive interview. Here is a portion of that interview for you. Mr. President, thank you for joining us today to discuss the state of the Pines Cup. I assume you're doing well?
I am.
It's an honor to be with you.
Well, Mr. President, why don't you just start by letting all the Pines Cup fans and all the members know exactly what you've been doing today.
So I spent a long time this morning on making my shoes so beautiful, so shiny.
Oh, Mr. President, I'm sure you worked really hard on those. I can't see them since we're on the phone, but I'm sure that they look fantastic. You know, last time that we spoke, you were out on the campaign trail. Had a pretty good outcome.
Can you believe it?
I really can't believe it. I mean, I remember the night like it was yesterday.
Who else could have pulled that off, okay? Who else?
Well, Mr. President, there's surely not that many people, if any, they could have pulled that off. But while we're talking about it, do you think that you could have beaten me if I ran?
No, I could never beat you. That wouldn't even be close. There would be no contest. You have done a great job, by the way, and I mean it.
Well, Mr. President, coming from you, that really does mean a lot, and I do appreciate it. It is a tough job, and I do take a lot of pride in it. That being said, if you're shooting me straight here today, Donald, let me just ask you, is that your real hair?
The man of the toupee. This is on the front page of the New York Times. I don't wear a toupee.
Ah, Mr. President, you know I'm just kidding with you. We know it's your real hair. Now, let's get back to the campaign talk here. Do you remember the epic battle that you had with Hillary?
She's the devil.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Hillary Clinton is a bigot.
Well, Mr. President, I can totally understand why you'd feel that way. With that said, it's a good thing you didn't lose to her.
Wouldn't that be embarrassing? To lose to crooked Hillary Clinton? That would be terrible.
She's done some pretty horrible things, that's for sure.
This is the legacy of Hillary Clinton. Death, destruction, terrorism, and weakness.
Speaking of terrorism, didn't you say that she founded ISIS?
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton.
So are you telling me that Hillary Clinton plays a key role in the ISIS regime?
If you're on a sports team, most valuable player, MVP, you get the MVP award. ISIS will hand her the most valuable player award.
It's no secret that you two don't get along, and I've got a question for you. If Hillary were to retaliate at you by having ISIS carry out a terrorist attack on the Pines Cup, what would you do in response?
I would bomb the out of him.
Mr. President, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off here. We've got a couple of members of Team Ross outside trying to protest. Just give me 1 sec. We're trying to get him out of here so we can get this interview finished.
You have a little protester? Get him the hell out. Get him the hell out of here.
We're trying, sir. Can you hear him? He's blowing a whistle.
Oh, throw him the hell out of here. Am I allowed to rip that whistle out of the mouth? I'd rip that. Get him out of here. Get him the hell out of here.
Did they get him out? Did they get him out?
Okay, Mr. President, it appears we've finally gotten them out. I'm sure you're used to dealing with this on a regular basis.
I'd like to punch him in the face. Whenever I want to knock out a protester, I just talk about the wall. The place goes crazy. Nobody ever hears the protest.
It just so happens this is a perfect segue into the next topic I wanted to speak with you on. We are considering, as a group, banning all protests from the Pines Cup. If we were to do that, would you approve that motion?
You bet your ass I'd approve it. You bet your ass.
Well, it's good to know that we have your support. Let's go back. What was the state of the Pines Cup when you came on board after winning the election in 2016?
When I took it over, it was a disaster. I think we've done a great job.
I think so too. And who do you think deserves the recognition or the credit for the rise in popularity and just increased awareness around the Pines Cup?
Look at all of the things that I've done. Nobody else did what I've done. Obama didn't do it. Obama was a patsy. He was a total patsy.
Team Ross really started the whole not standing for the national anthem protest, and now it's gone nationwide. And I guess what we want to know from you is what are your thoughts and feelings about this decision that Team Ross made a few years ago to do this?
Well, it was certainly a bad call, but it is what it is. It was a bad call. I don't think anybody denies it was a bad call. Maybe it was a terrible call.
I know you weren't in charge at the time, but do you feel like members of Team Ross should have been disciplined or possibly even suspended for their actions?
I think so. I mean, I was just one that felt very important. You can't be kneeling for the national anthem. You have to respect our flag and our country. I want that as president, and I'd want that as a citizen.
Well, Mr. Trump, I'm happy to inform you that they have said that they will stand this year for the national anthem. However, we have, through sources, been informed that instead of just standing, they may just actually walk out.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. And that's what I say all the time. That's what I said in a tweet, which I guess some people think is controversial. A lot of people love it, by the way. A lot of people love it. But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
It truly is a sad, sad, sad story seeing all of this going on here in our country, all started by Team Ross.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Well, as the Democrats try and rally here behind Team Ross, as they already have, I'm just curious, Mr. President, what are your thoughts as we continue down into the future as far as this goes?
It's very simple. And if the Democrats want to wrap their bows around this group of 4 people, I'll tell you what, I'm not happy with them. And it's very easy to be say, oh, gee, well, it's okay. If weak politicians want to say, and the Democrats in this case, if they want to gear their wagons around these 4 people, I think they're going to have a very tough election, because I don't think the people of the United States will stand for it.
So let's say Team Ross decides to leave. Do you think anybody is going to miss them?
I don't know who's going to miss them, but I guess some people will. One of them is polling at 8%.
And who's that? Matt Crisco?
Well, I didn't mention that.
Oh, I just assumed that it was him based on what he had said about you on CNN last week. What was it that he called you again?
And he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass.
Well, at least give me a little credit. I knew it wasn't Jadaquist. Everybody is well aware of the great relationship that you two both share.
I like him a lot.
Okay, well, so Donald, just let's go ahead and end this topic here. What exactly are you trying to say about this?
I'm saying that they're socialists, definitely. As to whether or not they're communists, I would think they might be. But this isn't what our country is about. Nevertheless, they're free to leave if they want. And if they want to leave, that's fine. And if they want to stay, that's fine. But the people have to know.
We hope you enjoyed part of our interview there with Donald Trump. The full interview will air on the eve of the Pines Cup, August 30th, 2019, 8 p.m. We hope you'll join us on TPC News. I'm Robert Carpenter, signing off.